Tar was written and directed by Todd Field and stars Cate Blanchett and centers around Lydia Tarr, a woman considered to be one of the greatest living composers and first female chief conductors of a major German orchestra. To say that Tar is a good movie is like saying water is wet. It's like saying that Todd is Field. Tar is so f***ing good that I had to Google like 3 times that this woman was entirely a work of fiction. The detail beneath the surface of its lead performance is so beautifully meticulous, and it's complemented by equally sharp detail above the surface. With every shot and every single item placement and the blocking, it just felt so real. It's human. In some of the most quietly devastating and outright hilarious ways I've seen depicted in film in the last few years. Not only on the surface, but beneath it. A vacuum of nothingness is what exists below and above the surface of Borderlands. Cate Blanchett is the lead of Borderlands. Eli Roth is a person who I'm very familiar with, from Cabin Fever to Hostel to Green Inferno, and his latest film, Borderlands, sees him returning to his roots of offensive torture porn. Borderlands is a movie that should not exist, or if it did, it should be the centerpiece of a movie about a fake movie that no one gives a shit about. Tropic Thunder was directed by and stars Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., and Jack Black, amongst a ton of others, and is a farce on Hollywood so biting it's cannibalistic. But somehow, this movie remains among the greatest modern comedies for me. The performances in Tropic Thunder also are full of energy, satire, and not an ounce of nuance. Tropic Thunder succeeds because it's operating at such a high level of status and fame, yet decides to boldly spit in its own face and make a mockery of movie stars to the praise of everybody who is me. Tom Cruise somehow crushes and stands out as one of the most well-executed cameos in modern movies, period.
Bullshit Valley! First thing I'm doing is paying my $2 so I can watch Brooklyn Buster's Cherry on a sweet little mama son's dinky down poontang! I fucking hate movies.
Tropic Thunder makes a mockery of its movie stars. Borderlands is a mockery of movie stars. Borderlands as a game series I was never that interested in because I don't really like looter shooters, but a movie version could have succeeded, I guess, especially if you lean into that gory, profane chaos of its gameplay loop. You got Eli Roth after all, but then they were made to trim it down to a PG-13 rating is what I've heard, which was a bad choice for reasons. First, the game is so old that the modern audience and fandom of Borderlands is aged up to go see an R-rated movie. They're not putting Borderlands in Fortnite. It's its own game from a long time ago. Yes, the third one came out a couple years ago, but any fans of Borderlands are older. You gotta admit that. Can we just make a rule where if a game is M, the movie should be allowed to or be encouraged to get an R rating and be made with the same constraints as an M rating? If you really want to capture that magic of the video game and deliver a faithful recreation, for Mario, yeah, PG or G, but for Max Payne? For Max Payne 3, dude? For Max Payne movie, you're gonna do PG-13? Fucking whatever. But not to say that PG-13 action movies can't absolutely slap and deliver. Borderlands could've. Love and Monsters is one of the most underrated and fun movies released during the thick of the pandemic back in 2020. Directed by Michael Matthews and starring Dylan O'Brien and Ariana Greenblatt, amongst a bunch of others, Love and Monsters is a love story set in a world years after what the movie calls the monster apocalypse. It's fun, it's clever, it's earnest. The monsters are all cartoony but relatively grounded in the world of the movie as threats to our heroes. The monsters in Borderlands are sort of like the ones in Love and Monsters, but there's less of them and they are way shittier and lack any personality whatsoever, just like how all of Borderlands is.
I fucking hate movies.
I really can't see any fun qualities in this movie unless I were talking about it with a 13-year-old boy, much like how Max Payne was for me when I was a 13-year-old boy. Alright, fucking Max Payne is better than Borderlands. Max Payne was directed by John Moore and stars... No, I'm not. Kevin Hart is playing some hollow version of himself in Too Many Things. Borderlands is one of too many things. He is absolutely fine in the movie, but the casting is bizarre across the board. He is a cardboard cutout in Borderlands.
Let's move forward amicably.
Okay, well, check this out, though. First of all, you're throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale.
And so is everyone else, including people like Knives Out was written and directed by Rian Johnson and stars Jamie Lee Curtis and a billion other people. What begins as an older school Orient Express style murder mystery morphs into a deconstruction of murder mysteries and added a much needed extra life to Johnson's career reputation post The Last Jedi backlash. Florian Munteanu, sorry, you play Krieg in Borderlands? You haven't done a whole lot of stuff, and you were pretty good in this. I think it's awesome. I think you're getting work, man. I think you were great in Shang-Chi in that fight on the train. I do remember you in that, and it was lovely. Listen, this bit I'm doing aside, everyone in this movie knows better. This movie shouldn't have happened. It sat on the shelf for a couple years. The culture changed. Everything changed. It was made by dumb people making dumb decisions. Cate Blanchett is in Borderlands. Borderlands is now a Cate Blanchett movie, and she's in tons of it, dude. I thought she was just going to be one of the people like Gina Gershon who's in it for a brief scene. By the way, go see Killer Joe. She's great in that. Yeah, this movie sucks. No one cares about it. I think that's why I didn't really want to talk about it. So there's a bunch of movies. If you happen to have not seen them before, go watch those movies instead of this movie, and keep your respect for these stars.
You can't do what I do.